And this lecture, I'm going to dedicate it to tutorial. We're going to go through the problems and application, and I will let you to do some question as well to participate in the activity. And there are some multiple choices questions that are given here at the end of the chapter. I will strongly recommend you to go over it and try to see what questions are here. And I might give you these questions to solve it as an activity as well. So let me start with the question 1 with the problems and applications. So in the question 1, it says that Melissa purchased an iPhone for $120 and she gets a consumer surplus of 80. So she bought an iPhone for $120 and she received the consumer surplus. So first of all, what is the consumer surplus? You have to give a definition of the consumer surplus. Consumer surplus is willingness to pay minus actual price paid. So she received the consumer surplus of 80, so it and she has paid 120. So in part A, it asks what is the willingness to pay of Melissa. It's just straightforward. Her willingness, the maximum price that she will pay is the price that she has paid plus the consumer surplus. It will be equal to the willingness to pay. Let me just type it. It's better. So A, so 120 plus 80, that will give us the willingness to pay, so which is 200. So the Melissa is willing to pay $200, but she has paid 120 and she gets the benefit of 80. This benefit is called, in other words, as consumer surplus. B. If she had the bought iPhone on sale for $90, what would her consumer surplus have been then? If this is the case, her consumer surplus at $90 would be equal to, so this, we said this is willingness to pay. Okay, we said this. Willingness to pay. Okay. So that means the willingness to pay. In order to find what would be the consumer surplus in this case and how much money she has paid, so we know this one and we know the price that she has paid, she paid, and what will be then the consumer surplus. So which that shows the direction that willingness to pay is equal to consumer surplus plus the price paid. Or if you want to find the consumer surplus, is willingness to pay minus actual price paid. That would give you the consumer surplus of 200 minus 90, how much money was paid, and that will be equal to consumer surplus. So 200 minus 90, that is 110 of consumer surplus. Let me put it in brackets like this, okay? Consumer surplus. This is actual payment. I'm just going to abbreviate like AP and consumer surplus, willingness to pay. So willingness to pay is equal to actual price plus consumer surplus. If you want to find the consumer surplus, which is equal to willingness to pay minus actual price. Guys, if I'm quick in explanation, if there's something that you cannot get it, please do not hesitate. Just stop me saying, Prof, that I want you to repeat it again. I can do it. There is no problem with that, okay? Just stop me and ask me to repeat it or to go over the thing that you didn't understand well. So coming to the part C, if the price of an iPhone were $250, what her consumer surplus have been in this case? If this is the case, the Melissa actually would not have purchased this type of phone because the price greater than her willingness to pay, she will not go for that. And her willingness to pay is $200 that we have mentioned. She will, oops, sorry, with the apparatus. She will not buy because it is greater than her willingness to pay. So this is question 1, straightforward. Okay. Any question? Okay, let's this question number 1. Now I will move to the question 2. An early freeze in California soars the lemon crop. Explain what happens to the consumer surplus in the market for lemons. Explain what happens to the consumer surplus in the market for lemonade. And this should be illustrated graphically. So we need to draw 2 different diagrams and explaining when there's a soar in the lemon crop. We know that lemons are produced in the lemon crops and lemonade is produced from the lemons. So they're kind of depending fully on this agriculture sector. So if anything happened, that will affect directly this market. So we need to explain it and we need to give some diagram. So if an early freeze in California soars the lemon crop, but let me just draw it for you. Oops, sorry for that. Okay, let it be here. I'm going to come to that place. Now, this is supply, this is demand, supply. Let's make it as 0 and demand 0. Oops, sorry for my hand drawing, it's very bad. I'm going to use the straight lines. That would make really better. This is equilibrium price and this is equilibrium quantity. Okay. Now, if crop is soaring, actually this will affect in the lemon market. Okay, we have 2 different markets, lemon market and lemonade market. For the lemon market, if something happens bad in lemon's crop, that will really affect the supply of the lemon market. The supply curve for the lemons market will shift to the left. Okay, let me draw it with a different line. Will shift to the left because it will be reduced. It will be reduced from S0 to S1. This is the shift actually will take the place. However, there will be a new equilibrium. There will be a new equilibrium, which is this equilibrium price. Okay. And the result is you will see the price will increase for the lemons. As you can see here, it was P1. If you draw it here, or let's make it 10. Now it becomes, let's say, 20. Okay, as you can see. As the supply shift to the left, it goes up. So the same thing happened to in this pandemic days. Like if you go back to the April of this year, you could remember that lemon was highly demandable, but due to the quarantine and the lemon is being imported from mainly 3 countries to here, to Kazakhstan. It's Turkey, it's Uzbekistan, and it is China. Due to the quarantine, due to the lockdowns, due to the border were just closed down, the traders, they could not bring the lemons to the market. So that affected the supply curve. Supply curve shifted to the left, okay? Supply curve shifted to the left. Shifting to the left means it has been reduced, the quantity. As the quantity goes down, the price of that lemon increases. It jumps maybe by twice, maybe by 3 times more, and so on. So something happened to the lemon market. So it shows that what happens. So the price of lemon goes up, and of course, when the price is going up, definitely it will affect the consumer surplus. That will reduce the consumer surplus as well. That will reduce the consumer surplus. So if you put the by numbers, okay, if this is A, this is B, this is C. So we have 3 different regions. This regions is described by consumer surplus, okay? So the consumer surplus will decline by this amount, A, B, C, okay? So this is the total consumer surplus. So consumer surplus declines by the amount B region and C region due to the price increases, because your willingness was to pay $10, not more than this. If you could have paid less than $10, you could get actually a good consumer surplus, but the price rises up to $20, so that reduces it. So the decline in the consumer surplus from A, B, C to just A, like if we connect these lines, okay. Like this. So this is a triangle, A, B, C, okay? This is the consumer surplus, she could get it. But however, decline from A, B, C consumer surplus, it will decline to just A, okay, to this amount. Because now she will get only this amount. But her maximum willingness to pay is this amount. Anything that goes above, she will not consume anything. This is the case of market for lemons. And this is price, and this is quantity. Price and quantity. Okay, this is about lemons. But when it comes to lemonade, in the market for lemonade, the higher cost of lemon, because the lemon input price, we know as lemons are the inputs for the lemonade. It's raw materials that have been used to produce the final good, and final good is the lemonade. So lemonade is produced from the lemons. Once the price of the lemon increases, that will reduce the supply of the lemonade as well. Okay, the same story happens in lemonade as well, the lemonade market. So the supply shift to the left. That is shown in this figure as well. Okay, we can do the same figure. We can draw the same figure. but for the lemonade as well. But I'm not going to draw. It's the same, exactly the same figure. Supply shift to the left, and the consumer surplus is reduced. So the result is increase in the price of the lemonade because the cost of producing lemonade is increased, and the quantity decreases, and decline in same thing, the consumer surplus, ABC. So whatever if she was paying $10, so whatever is above, she was getting this consumer surplus, ABC. Okay. Now she will pay less. Her consumer surplus will be reduced to A. Okay, she will receive only this part. Okay, only this triangle. But before it was the whole triangle, all the regions like A, B, C. Now the price jumps up to $20. Now she will receive only part A, consumer surplus. So the loss of BC that takes the place due to the cost of raw materials increases, and the raw materials is equal to lemons. Lemons are produced from the lemon crop, and the lemon crop source, something happens with the nature, and it just goes down. So the event that affect the consumer surplus in one market often has effect on the consumer surplus in other market. This is what you should understand. Is that clear? Like if the event happened, look, in California in the lemon crop, and it directly affected two different markets. So you were paying $10, and the maximum price you are willing to pay, let's say $50 here. $50. This much what you pay actually. Who could tell me what is your consumer surplus if this is the case? If you actually pay $10 and your maximum willingness to pay is $50, what is your consumer surplus?
All the triangles, A, B, C.
Yes, and tell me the amount.
40.
Yes, very good. Very good. 40. Yes. Because maximum you are willing to pay is 50 and you're actually paying 10.
Yes. Okay.
But if the price increases to 20 because of this event happens, what will be your consumer surplus? To what your consumer surplus will be reduced?
To 30.
To 30.
This is only A.
To 30, to the part A, which is 30. But the whole amount was 40. So by how much, what is your loss?
10.
Very good. Very good. So please try to understand the logic, because I might ask this type of question in the exam as well. I might give you the diagram and I'll say, please, what is your loss? What is your consumer surplus? And how much by how much it has been reduced, or to how much it has been reduced to. So you have to be able to answer. In order to do that, you need to know the logic behind the consumer surplus. Okay. Okay, question 2 is done. Now we're moving to the question 3. Question 3, I'm gonna skip it, but it's suppose the demand for the French bread rises and explain what happens to the producer surplus. Okay, let's talk about the producer surplus. That's important as well. I wanted to skip it, but not now, but now the French bread rises in terms of demand, and explain what happens to the producer surplus in the market for French bread. Explain what happens to the producer surplus in the market for the flour. and illustrate your answers with a diagram. So we need to illustrate with a diagram. So we need to draw two different diagrams and showing what happens to the demand. Now we're talking about the demand side. If you draw it, okay, this is quantity part, this is supply, this is demand, and this is equilibrium. Equilibrium price, and the equilibrium quantity comes here. We don't need to draw it, but anyway, I'm gonna draw it. So this is price, this is quantity, this is demand 0, this is supply 0. So in here, the demand increase, and this is the bread market, okay? And the demand for the bread market increases. Demand for bread market increases. But let me do it in this way. Oops. This will be D1 because I don't have a place to draw it. And I'll shift it. This is the old demand. D0. And initial equilibrium was this. And let me put it with the numbers. It was 10, and it becomes 20 cents or 10 euro or 20 euros, whatever the case. Once we talk about the France and it's Europe. And same stories happens in here. So if you used to pay $10 as a consumer surplus, and if you used to sell for $10, okay, now you have to put yourself into the shoes of the producers. Producers, who are they? Those who produce the shoes. Those who produce, the higher they sell, the better they are in this case. So we need to be very careful in this case. So that means the more money they will receive, the more happier they will be actually in this case. If the price falls below this, they will not sell anything below the $10, okay? They will not be very happy. So anything above, they will get the producer surplus. This is what I get it, okay? Not the $10, but the supply is starting here, okay? So this is 0. So at this point, below this point, they will not sell anything, okay? If it's, let's say, 5 euro. So below 5 euro, the minimum they're willing to sell is $5. But now they're selling for $10. And their surplus is this one, A. Okay? And if demand increases for producer surplus, look, the difference between the consumer surplus and the producer surplus, consumer surplus, they're willing to pay maximum, and producer surplus, they are willing to sell for minimum. This is the main difference, okay? You have to be able to shift from consumer's shoes to the producer's shoes in order to understand better, to think from the perspective of the producers as well. So now you're selling at $10, and your producer surplus will be equal to, if you're using the number, who could tell me what is the producer surplus if you're selling at $10? It's a point A, it's a triangle A. However, in terms of the number, what will be your producer surplus?
5.
5. 10 minus 5. That's good. But if demand increases, D0 to D1, due to the demand rises for the bread, so the result is here. So the French bread leads to increase in the producer surplus. We know it. But by how much the producer surplus will increase? This is B.
By 15.
And this is C. By 15. Very true. 20 minus 5. It will be 15. So let me just summarize everything. So shift in the demand curve will lead to increase in the price from 10 to 20, which will increase the producer surplus from A to ABC. So from 5. So how much the producer by how much the producer surplus increased? It's increased by ABC, but by how much? Initially, your producer surplus was A, and it increases to not to 2, it increases to ABC, but initially it was 5. Your producer surplus initially was 5. And it increases by how much more?
By 10. Or
by 10. Yes, very good, because it increases by 10. And in total, ABC will be equal to 15. This is what they get it. And this is the bread market, okay? This is the bread market. This is the bread market. Coming to the market of flour, so increasing the quantity of the French bread being sold, that will increase the demand for flour. So in figure 8 that we need to illustrate, the same thing that will take the place. Okay, the same figure, the demand will increases. So the price of the flour will go up from 10 to 20. Imagine this is the now diagram for the market of the flour. And increasing the producer surplus due to the event takes the place as we know the demand for French bread increases. So this will lead the effect of the producer surplus in the related market as well. So the bread and the flour market will be the same. So once the quantity of the bread increases in production, that means automatically in the flour market, who supplies the flour, they will have to increase the price because of the demand. And the quantity will be increased and the price will be increased. So the producer surplus for the flour market will go up as well. But by how much, we don't know. We need to calculate, and we know how to calculate. Okay, that's good. Question 4. Okay, in question 4, it is a hot day and bird is thirsty. Here's the value places each of the water. So part 8 says, from the information that is given above, drive the bird's demand schedule and graph his demand curve for bottled water. So we need to make a schedule, and so the schedule is going in the following way: price and quantity demanded. So the price he says the value of the first bottle, he is valuing at $7. So for one bottle, he is willing to pay maximum $7. So which means that more than $7, he will not buy anything. More than $7, the quantity demand will be 0. If price goes in the second bottle, so second bottle, he will pay for $5. Anything more than 5, he will not buy second bottle. He will go just buying the first bottle. So which means from the 5 to 7, he will buy 2 bottles. If $5 to 7, he will buy 2 bottles. While of the third bottle is $3, so which means from 3 to 5, in total he will get 3 bottles. If it's from while of the fourth bottle, it will be $1 to $3. He will purchase in total there's something that I missed. Anyway, I'm going to come to that place. 4 bottles. Sorry. This is 1. Let me just go again. Just a second. From more than $7, he will not pay anything. He will not get anything, or she will not get anything, because he is willing to pay maximum price is $7. If the price for the second bottle, he is willing, for the first bottle, he was willing to pay $7. So from 5 to 7, if the price goes from 5 to 7, he will pay 1 bottle. Then value of the second bottle is 5. And if it's below, he may think to get the second bottle. So he will buy second bottle. And from 3 to 5. But if the price falls from 1 to, if the price is ranging between $1 and $3, so like the value for the third bottle, he is willing to pay maximum $3 for 3 bottles. And if it's $1 or less, he will purchase 4 quantities of demanded. And now this we need to illustrate graphically. Now we need to just put the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And if you want to draw it, This is price, and this is quantity. So if the price, let me draw it in this way. So if it's $7 maximum, he will pay just one. And then it falls to, if between 5, so for $5, he will pay his second bottle. For $6, sorry, for the $3, if it falls to the $3, if it's between $3, he will buy the third bottle, 3 bottles, 3 and 5. And if the price falls between 1 and 3, he will purchase 4 bottles. This is what we need to draw, okay? This is how it looks like. Okay, let's move to the question 2. It's easy to draw by the numbers, if these numbers are given. Now, if the price of the bottle of water is $4, how many bottles does the bird buy, and how much the consumer surplus does the bird get from his purchase? And show the bird's consumer surplus in your graph. Okay, let me just draw it with it black. If the price of the bird becomes 4, so when the price of each bottle becomes $4, the bird actually buys in here, as you can see, 2 bottles of water. And the consumer surplus is this area, like in the form of L letter. We can call it as A or whatever the case. I'm not going to call it, but we're going to illustrate by numbers. So the first bottle of the water at $7, but he actually pays $4 for it. So the consumer surplus in here will be equal, who can tell me? The maximum willingness 7 and actual price is paid 4. How much value he will get?
$3.
$3, very good. The consumer surplus will be $3. Okay. However, this is from the first bottle. Second bottle of water is $5, but he pays only $4. So the consumer surplus will be equal to
$1 over here.
2.
$1.
1. Okay.
Okay. And in this case, the bird's total consumer surplus is equal to $4. This is first for the first bottle, and this is for the second bottle, consumer surplus. Okay. If he buys only the first bottle, his or her consumer surplus will be $3 because the maximum willingness was to pay 7 and she pays 4. But for the second bottle that she or he pays is $4, but the maximum willingness was $5. While of the second bottle is 5. So maximum he's or she really pay is $5, but he or paying just $4. Okay. If the price falls to $2, how does the quantity demanded change, and how does the best consumer surplus change? Show these changes in the graph. So if it falls to $2, so here we go. If the price falls from $4 to $2, the Bert will buy how many bottles?
3 bottles.
Yeah, very true. He is going to buy 3 bottles. And his consumer surplus consists of both areas, which is above. Let me put it as A, just to name it. And this is B. So there are 2 consumer surplus, this A and this B. Okay. He gets this consumer surplus of $5 from the first bottle because maximum he's willing to pay for the first bottle is $7. So 7 minus 2. So for whole, he will get $5 from the first bottle. From the second bottle, his consumer surplus will be equal, tell me, he's actually
$3.
paying $2, but maximum he will be willing to pay for the second bottle is $5. What is the consumer surplus?
3.
$3 for the second bottle. And the third bottle, here we go, he's willing to pay $3, but he's actually paying $2.
$1 surplus.
For the third bottle, he will get $3. In total, the total consumer surplus will be equal to
9.
very good. The total consumer surplus will be equal to 9. So the consumer surplus increases by $5 when the price of each bottle of water falls from $4 to $2. Okay, it was $4 before, and now it increased to $9. So the change is $5. Okay, guys, I want to stop here for questions. Now I want you to start to go and just practice multiple choices. Try to do the multiple choice questions, which is at the end of the chapter. Just practice. Once you finish, you can leave the conference. There is no submission. It's not activity. Okay? You just practice it. Activity will be done on Thursday. So while you're doing it, I will take the attendance. So go and practice. There are 6 questions. Just practice it, and I will take the attendance. Abish, Asılcan,
I'm here.
Camila,
I'm here.
Anel,
Here.
Shevo,
I'm here.
Araylın,
I'm here.
Rawan? Saltanat? Saltanat here? Alisher? Songayer?
Yes, I'm here.
Iskander?
Yes, I'm here.
Alisher?
Here.
Yulia? Alan?
I'm here.
Muhammed Arshia?
I am here.
Arnay?
Yes, I am here.
Arat?
I'm here.
Ayslu?
I'm here.
Şolpan?
I'm here.
Amina?
Yes, here.
Ardager?
Here.
Christina? Alina?
Yes, I'm here.
Dana?
I'm here.
Maksat?
Here, Professor.
Okay, Maksat here, can hear you. Yelana?
I'm here.
Arujan?
I'm here.
Nuray?
Yes, I'm here.
Kamila Murat kızı?
Yes, I'm here.
İlyas?
Here.
Begzat? Begzat? Canayim?
I'm here.
Okay. Aset?
I'm here.
Rustam?
I'm here.
Ali?
I'm here, Professor.
Aliyar? Aliyar here? Farhat?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Janna?
I'm here.
Diana?
Here.
Arujan? Saltanat?
I'm here.
Camila? Tolbay?
Sorry, teacher. I'm here. My name is Rawan.
I love it when the students come at the end. Okay, no problem. I will get you. Camila,
Okay, thank you.
Camila here? No. Malika?
I'm here.
Süngüz?
I'm here.
Ayaoğlu?
I'm here.
Daniela?
I'm here.
Malika?
Here.
Irbolat?
Here.
Canserik?
I'm here.
Arayılın? Okay. And Rawan is here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you can start doing it. If you finish, you can leave the conference. If you have any question, ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. I'm here.